so Walt Disney. I've read a little bit about Walt Disney himself, and so like Bambi was the first film that's ever was created. No, is it like
No.
the first cartoon film? What was the first cartoon film? Oh, the Mickey Mouse.
Snow White was the first.
Snow White. Oh yeah,
feature
sorry.
film.
Okay, Snow White was the first feature
film. Yeah, I mean they had cartoons before then.
Yeah.
Disney back in 1923, they started doing like the the Mickey Mouse shorts,
Yes.
and you may notice that Disney's changed, or Mickey Mouse has changed a lot over the years.
Yes.
But it was all black and white. It was all just they had these things called silly symphonies, which they would play music and they would have all flowers and trees and stuff do various things. And but the first actual feature which was full color, was 1937, I think it was. I could be wrong about that.
And that's Snow White.
That
so
was
Snow White
White.
comes out,
Yep.
and that is a crazy success. Or no, that was a horrible success. I don't remember the story.
No,
Do you know his story of Walt, or were we just talking about something we none of us
No,
know about?
yeah, that happened. I mean, he won 7 Oscars.
Okay.
I mean, there were 7 little tiny Oscars for the 7 Dwarfs. No, but they did win, Best Picture. They won certain awards at that time, or either that or they mocked it up. I don't really know because it wasn't part of the Academy Awards. Disney's, animation.
Animation certainly was because it
at
didn't
that
exist,
time,
of course.
But yeah, that was the first one, and it was a brand new art form
Correct.
at that point.
Nobody knew about it.
No one knew, and
created.
it was considered it was going to be just a complete failure. But
yes.
they did it, and they did another one. They did another one, and eventually it became this behemoth. Now Disney is like this massive success.
Huge.
I mean, it's everywhere. It's ubiquitous. It's everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes, everybody knows about
Everybody
Disney.
knows. Yeah, Disney.
And so, what I heard though about Snow White, is it true? That's not an original film. It was already written by somebody
Well,
before.
it's based on the Brothers Grimm storyteller. The Brothers Grimm did a bunch of fairy tales. Like Little Mermaid. A lot of them. There's a ton of these things, and Disney took a lot of these things, and they took big liberties with them. But they would develop these stories out more into a different kind of context, rather than like a short story that's gonna take you 20 minutes to read.
Yeah. What amazes me is that you have a book, right? Somebody created something to say Little Mermaid, the Snow White. They imagined that's the original person, but that person didn't go very far with it.
No, not really.
Right? It would have just died off if it didn't get created and put into the animation, created into this crazy movie where the everyday person who didn't want to read saw this movie.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, totally.
It's the same thing with a lot of movies that have come out where the book is like whatever, and then the movie comes out and everyone watches it.
Yeah.
Isn't that like? What's your take on that sort of aspect that like, hey, this thing could have been nowhere if nobody animated it?
Oh, it definitely never would have been. I mean, The Little Mermaid is a great example because that was made by Hans Christian Andersen. Wrote that. Who knows when? But I mean, it was a long time ago. When they were fairy tales were what were being written at that time. Later on when they developed that, I mean, also Disney altered a lot of these stories because in the story. The Little Mermaid, the end of it, the whole point of it is unrequited love. That's kind of the theme about it, and it's a story about this girl who falls in love with a man. She gets her legs. She sacrifices her life as a mermaid with the deal that she has to return within 3 days if he doesn't fall in love with her. He doesn't in the actual story, and she turns into sea foam. That's the end.
Really? Are you serious?
Yeah. So so they're like, let's have a happy ending. So that's what they did.
Wow. Amazing.